Welcome back to Terminal Vengeance, the one and only Terminalist fan channel. I cover everything Terminalist and James Reese here, so I'd really appreciate it if you would hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. I'm going to continue making videos even after July 1st, and I'll even have more videos out then. And after then, I even plan on doing watch parties and discussions with some of the fans, so stick around. I'm also trying to hit 500 subscribers by the end of the year, so I'd really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button. I had a really great interview with Michael Broderick, who plays Rick on the Terminal List. We had a really great discussion, and we found a lot to talk about, even though he's only in a few scenes. I hope you enjoy our conversation. Today I am joined by Michael Broderick, and he is a cast member for the Terminal List, and I wanted to thank you for doing this with me.
Oh, Abraham, it's great to be here, man. Thanks for asking.
So my first question is, when did you read the Terminal List, and what did you think about it?
It was actually around the time that I actually met Jack Carr, and I was familiar with the Terminal List, and he actually gave me a. Then he whipped out a paperback and signed it for me right there. I met him in Vegas, but when I first read it, it was just, it's a great thriller. It's a great act. There's action in it as well, and I was just like, this is my kind of book. Um, I originally I'd seen chatter about it on Instagram and stuff like that, because the veteran community is kind of, we help promote each other and things like that. So I'd been seeing a lot of people post about it. When I finally read it, I was like, man, this is really awesome. Uh, and my first thought was, somebody's got to make a movie out of this or something.
Yeah, I heard that was kind of the same way with Chris Pratt. He read it and immediately optioned it before it was even released to the public.
Yeah, that's true. Jack tells that story quite a bit, so I'll leave that to him. But yeah, that was my first thought. I think it's because of the way Jack writes. He writes with such specificity that you really can, you see it in your head, and that makes it so easy to kind of just imagine it transitioning to a visual medium like film or television.
I love the Fathers and Sons short film because it's kind of like what I do here in a way that I'm making fan content and it's like on the side. It's related to the books, but how long did it take to make that short film?
Well, first of all, thanks. Fathers and Sons was really it was a it was a film with a mission. I made that film specifically to try to get a role on the Terminal List when I heard that they were going to be making it into a series. Um, and I knew, I probably wasn't on this particular casting director's radar, so I had to figure out a way to kind of get on their radar. How long did it take? In the planning stages, when I first came up with the crazy idea of, making a short film, because I'd never really produced anything, at least not anything narrative. It took a few months of planning, and I came up with the general concept. I wrote out a scene, but I'm not really a writer, so I had the general idea of Tom Reese and Dell, and how did Tom get the rifle, the Eccles legend, because when I was first planning, I knew I didn't want to do something that was from the book, because that's going to be covered in the series. So I said, all right, let me figure something else out. And if folks remember, folks who've read the book, they know that James Reese makes his first kill in the book with the father. That his inner monologue remembers that his father gave it to him after his first deployment. So I said, all right, well, how did his father get that rifle? And so I decided to make a little short film about that. And yeah, did I hope I would maybe get a swing at playing Tom Reese in the series? Yeah, that was kind of the goal. It didn't work out that way, but that would have been awesome. Um, so that lives kind of on its own, and I got it to Jack Carr because we already had a little bit of a relationship. And I said, look, I want to show this to you before I send it over to production, because I'm trying to get in the show. He said, you know what, this is awesome. He put it on his Instagram, and he said, I'll send it to production. So he sent it straight through to David DiGilio, who's the showrunner over there at the Terminal List, and they dug it. So they found a little something for me to do on the show.
You were in the Marine Corps, right?
I was, yeah. I served 1986 to 1990. I know I'm an old man. At the end of the Cold War, I served with HMLA 167, which is attack helicopter squadron based out of North Carolina, and I served in a support role. I did logistics and embarkation for them.
Thank you for your service.
It was my pleasure. Thanks for your support.
What was it like being involved with a series that was filled with veterans?
Yeah, it was. It's always great. I know this particular production really went out of their way to include as many veterans as they could in front of and behind the camera. Just to add to that realism and to I think gain the support of the community as well, which they probably would have had anyway. But um, yeah, it's always great. I started out in Hollywood when I first when I first went out to Los Angeles. I started out working for a military advisory company, and it was doing special ability work and stuff like that, weapons and things like that. And then I had every intention of moving on to become an actor, and that's what I was able to do. But it's great to, when I went back and worked on an episode of Legion for FX, I show up and the company I used to work for is doing the military stuff on that show. So I got to see a lot of the same guys. And one of the guys who started out with me back then, he's now a stuntman and works all the time. And he was working that episode. So it was like a great reunion. And Terminalist was the same way. A lot of veterans. So you're getting, there's always that camaraderie, and, it's always a great environment to be in.
How different was the culture on the set of the Terminalist compared to other sets that you've been on?
Well, look, every show is different, but I will say this: there's an excitement about doing a new show. This was episode 2, so everybody's kind of still getting to know each other and work together, and it was there's a lot of excitement on a set like that, as opposed to other shows. Like I've been on a lot of shows where they've been around for 8, 9, 10 seasons, and it's just a different vibe because they've been working together a long time. It's a well-oiled machine. Everybody knows their job, but I don't think I'm out of line saying sometimes it lacks that excitement that you find on the set of a brand new show.
What was your, or what is your favorite part of being a cast member of the Terminalist?
Um, Well, look, it was a big deal for me that I set this very specific goal, and I was able to accomplish it. I set out to. I said I'm getting in this show, man, and I'm going to work with Chris Pratt, right? And so I made Fathers and Sons, the short film, and we got it to producers. They brought me in to work a little bit on the show, and so mission accomplished there. So that's really the most exciting thing. It also didn't hurt that Dave DiGilio, and he's the showrunner, like I said, and Chris Pratt both complimented my film. They said, "Hey, I saw your film, really loved it, blah blah blah." So it felt good.
What is your favorite interaction or memory from the set of the Terminalist?
I'd say that was it. When in between scenes, Chris, I got a chance to talk to Chris for just a second, and he was like, he's like, "Hey, he's like, I saw your film, man. It's really nice work." So I was like, "Wow, that's awesome." So yeah, that's my favorite interaction.
What can you tease about your character and the scenes that you're in?
Well, I don't know if there's that much to tease. Um, I think Rick is he's a loyal guy. He cares about his guys, and yeah, that's all I can really say about that. But that's where this guy's coming from. These are the special operations guys that come in his place. By the way, I play Rick, the owner of Rick's Bar. Oh wait, the director gave me this. There you go. Can you get a good look at that?
That is awesome.
Rick. Yeah. So this is where the guys come to blow off a little steam, and I own the joint. They didn't have a backstory for Rick, so I said, this guy's he's former special operations community. Maybe he was a SWIC, Rick the SWIC. That's what I came up with. And now he owns a bar, and that's where the team guys hang out, and it's his way of staying close to the community.
How would you describe the series?
Well, I'll have to see it just like anybody else. anytime they adapt something from a novel or from a comic book, graphic novel, whatever, adapt it from another medium, it changes for Hollywood, because some things work for camera, some things don't. Sometimes you want to take it in another direction. I know Jack has said that they've taken it more in a political thriller way, and that's cool. I'm excited to see what happens with it. I know it's not going to be exactly like the book, and that's fine. I already read the book. Tell me a new story, or at least something a little different. So I'm excited to see what they do.
I can't wait to see what you did and what everyone else did in the series. Where can
For
other
sure.
people see your work before July 1st?
Well, if you go to my IMDb page, it's the Internet Movie Database. I've got a ton of credits, and there's a lot of stuff streaming on Netflix, and you can go through, find episodes I'm in of NCIS or any of the NCISs, or any shows, Justified, Jericho, 24. The list goes on and on. But so you can find particular episodes, see what's streaming on Netflix or Amazon. Currently, let's see. Currently, I'm in this season of Bosch Legacy. I did episode 5. Got to work with Titus Welliver, and that was a great experience. And what else? I was in this last season of NCIS Hawaii, episode 10. You can look for me there. Also, there's a film I did, a mockbuster called Top Gun Danger Zone. No, Top Gunner Danger Zone. So it's put out by the Asylum, which makes these kind of crazy B movies, and that was a lot of fun. It's streaming on iTunes and Google Play and Vudu right now. You can catch that.
How does your role in the Terminal List compare to the other ones?
Well, my favorite role of all time. Well, there's two. Probably the most satisfying one was I played Special Agent John Bowen in season 3 of True Detective, and I got to work with 2-time Oscar winner Mahershala Ali, and I was in 4 episodes of that, so that was like the longest recurring role I had in my career, and it was just awesome. Going back and forth to Arkansas to shoot, and working with Stephen Dorff and Mahershala and 3 great directors, and just an incredible cast. And, HBO just continues to put out top quality stuff. So being a little part of that family was really something special. But my favorite role is probably in the season 3 finale of Power, which was on Starz. I think it's streaming now elsewhere. But I just play a New York detective who's like tired of the FBI's BS and somebody rolling into my crime scene, and I let them have it, and that was the most fun, because I'm from New Jersey, man. I got to let out my accent and everything, and and just give them what for, and I got to work with MJ Bassett, who's one of my favorite directors on that one. So that was awesome.
Well, I want to thank you for doing this interview with me, and I can't wait to see the Terminal List, and I'll keep an eye out for you and Rick Spar.
Well, I appreciate that, Abraham. Thanks for having me on. Best to your viewers, and I'll catch you next time.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the interview, and I want to thank Michael Broderick for doing this interview with me. And you can go find him in a lot of things in the list I put in the video, and make sure to keep an eye out for him in Rick's Bar. I believe that's episode 2. You can also find him on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll also put that Fathers and Sons short film down below. It's really awesome, and it's so neat how he got the role through that. So go make sure to follow him, subscribe, and check out my giveaway that I'm doing in the card on the top right. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on everything Terminal List and James Reese. And please share this channel with your fellow James Reese fans. And even if you have friends who are going to watch the series, I'd really appreciate it if you'd share it with them. See you next time on Terminal Vengeance.